Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finals week for the Console Gaming League's multi-tier tournament. This is Season 7. We're bringing you the Xbox NA Tier 1 matchup between the Prophets Knights and Apollo Tier 1 tonight. I am NSB and joined by Mimjob on the co-cast. I believe you've done a lot of research on these two teams, so you know what it's looking like coming into this finals matchup. So why don't you take us through that?
Yeah, what's going on, NSB? It's going to be a fun one here tonight. So we got Apollo T1 as well as Prophets Knights, and these teams both had an incredible regular season where Prophets Knights ended up 9-0 and with a 40-4 map differential. Their playoffs, they had a bye in that first week, and then last week they won, but it was a 5v6 to start it off, and it wasn't really much. They haven't really been tested in this playoff so far. And then for Apollo themselves, they started the season off very hot, and they went 7-2, and they did lose their week 2 matchup to Prophets Knights, which was a 4-0 victory on the side of Prophets. There was a major Pharah play on Prophets' side there that Apollo just could not take care of. We'll see if that is the issue today. And if it's not, Apollo has a really good chance to win this game.
Yeah, and speaking of that Pharah, we're going to be starting off on Ilias, which is, you will see a lot of Pharah here. It's a prominent character on a few different sections of this map. We do have the readies from both captains. The squads are in the lobby, and we should be getting straight into the match as this one starts out. Going on to Ilias again, it's going to be the Prophets Knights facing off versus Apollo Tier 1 here in the Xbox North America scene. And as we take a quick journey to the ruins, what do you think we're going to see here, Mimjob?
Hey, if I had to guess, we have a pharmacy coming out of both sides with a potential mercy pocket coming out from both sides as well. We'll see.
You do have that Rhine Zarya on the side of Prophets, and you have Rhine Diva on the other side. And noting out Rome Treehouse there on the Diva, one of the best here in the Tier 1 scene on the Xbox. And you'll have, the Pharah coming out from Shadows, going up against 0 hit scans as you have Clean Turret on the Genji. What do you think that's going to shape out here?
It's going to be tough. These flankers are going to have to put in some work to try to put damage on those tanks, and maybe the Ana in the back line if they want a chance to be able to out-duel this pharmacy here.
You see both tank lines engaging onto the objective. Boss Raiden trying to advance forward as his most notable play style is already getting some values. You see Shadows up on this high area taking out Eneko on the other side, and now it's Prophet's room to engage onto this point, and it looks like exactly that's what they're going to do, getting the first percentage without really much contest, as the Pharah securing that one pick seems like it's enough to give the first percentage here to Prophets.
Viper immediately, as soon as they saw the Pharah, immediately swapped to the Ashe there. So we'll see if they can take them out there.
Boss Raiden receiving the bubble, but now he's in a lot of trouble, and you do have Prides and Escador getting the pick there, trading it back, and it looks like you're going to have the opposition engaging straight onto the objective. You have Poppy Locky getting a kill, and Echo following that one up as well with a shot from the flail there, as it looks like Shadows, Chungus, and the rest of Prophets are going to be retreating, and with just a bit less than 30%, you are going to have the objective flipped already here.
Yeah, but for Prophets here, we're looking at that Pharah ult from Shadows here, so we'll see what that Ashe can do about that, because there's not much that's going to be able to save him from that Pharah ult, that barrage.
And, Prophets just engaging. They don't even need the ultimates to pick up the kills, as Fury Foggy getting 2 with the shotguns. There goes the mech as well, and that's going to signal another quick flip as 30% on the board for both squads. You're going to have Prophets closing out this one with a hammer swing onto Viper Cunning. And yeah, another flip already.
Yeah, this fight we're going to see a lot of vaults here. We see this pharmacy on the left-hand side looking for this flank barrage. We'll see if they can get much with that, try to win a fight with just one ult.
I'm looking to the Clean Turd to pull out the blade. Oh, that's a nice stun there, and Boss Raiden getting no value out of the shatter. You have Clean Turd moving in with the blade. That's going to pick up 2, make it 3, as the res onto Boss Raiden is most likely not going to be enough unless there's some sort of miracle play here from Profits, as they're just struggling to stay on the objective. It looks like the flip again is going to come through as a few kills for Profits, but they're still forced back nonetheless.
Yeah, that was a big Dragon Blade on the part of Apple, where he got to ult and the Pharah didn't.
Now you have Boss Raiden receiving the nano boost, charging straight forward, almost building up to the shatter, but he's not going to need it as he is just swinging through the opposition. It's a lone diva on the objective. That's going to be taken care of very quickly. And we see, I believe this is the 6th flip here in the map, as Shadows is just dominating the skies and Raiden is dominating the ground there on the Reinhardt.
Yeah, so again, on the side of Profits, we have 2 DPS ults here to see if they can try to win some fights. We're down to 1 fight left.
The port ult's being used, and Boss Raiden with a huge shatter. It's followed up by both of the damage ultimates. You won't see Shadows getting as much value as he would have liked, but the res is going to get him back into the fight. Percentage ticking up right now beyond 90%, and you're going to have Clean Turd trying to wrap around the side, but he's the only one who can get anywhere near to this objective. It's going to be desperation time, as you will see Viper touching on the Tracer, but now they're running into the full lineup of the Profits. You do have trades coming in. The bomb onto the point is going to force a quick reset from Profits there, but nothing gained out of that other than a bit of space. Still more trades as Shadows pays for that kill with his life. The res does not come out this time from Brook, who's been very consistent, but not in this moment, as it looks like you are going to see Apollo stabilizing here. They've got the resources to do so. They just need to take care of these stragglers. You will see them falling as Chungus retreating now, as overtime built, but Profit's not able to close out the map quite yet as another flip comes in.
Yeah, and Shadows did hop off of the Pharah to the Genji, so we'll see what that Genji can muster up here with this fight. We also have a Death Blossom coming on the side of Profits this fight as well.
Yeah, they'll be looking to build up towards those tank ultimates, as well as Boss Raiden again going straight into the backline, this time finding the opposing mech, but right now it's Viper on the objective getting the value out of that pulse bomb. A double kill there, but that doesn't mean that Profits are done yet. They can still win this fight with a nice kill onto the mech, followed up with another pin there from Boss Raiden. The opposing Coalescence committed to try and keep Apollo in the fight, but their supports are just being pushed back so far. You're going to have overtime activated here, and it looks like we might see Profits securing this one, as their respawns are here. They're ready to go. Shadows getting the last shuriken there onto a Neko, and we may see a touch from Rome, but that's a nice grab. I don't think it's gonna happen. The objective secured, and in a very close, a very contested round, you're gonna see Profits starting us off here.
Yeah, that was a lot. I think there were probably close to 8 flips there. There's a lot of times where you only see 1 and maybe even 0. There was a lot of their ults weren't being used fully on the side of Profits at the beginning with those DPS ults that they had. But it seems like it's still working out, and that Pharah just gave enough to be able to get them late into the round and then able to cap. And then that Genji swap also helped as well.
You will see, speaking of swaps, you're going to have Imtree moving on to the Orisa for the side of Profits, and now you'll see the Clean Turd moving on to the Junkrat to maybe get a bit of that spam and negate these shields that are coming out from the opposition. Now you will see Shadows moving onto the side, taking a short little duo with Viper Cunning there, forcing out the recall early, and that's going to give Profits space to move on to the objective. They have to beware of this rotation, though, that's coming in from Apollo as they've wrapped around all the way. It looks like they're dealing with it well, though, as Fury following them in, and this sort of dive core of this Genji and Reaper picking up some value. Just as I say that, though, there are 2 important kills by the Apollo tank line, and Rome is going to be moving forward onto Boss Raiden. There's the beatdown kill, and you will see the pull almost picking up Prides and Escador there, but it's not going to be enough, and I think this round is going to be very similar to our last one. We're going to see an early flip after just about 20%. The touch not there from Profits, and you will see Apollo cleaning out this fight and flipping the objective already.
Yeah, so again, we see Pride and him dive right in. I'm sorry, not Pride. Boss Raiden dive in with that charge, and then after that, there's a flip right after.
This time it's going to be Pride moving forward, even dropping in the Earth Shatter. The Fortify is going to save I'm Tree, but the rest cannot be said for Profits as they will fall. Clean Turd getting a lot of value out of this Junkrat, putting in so much damage onto the shields. It seems like they're almost not there at all. On the other side, there are a few ultimates coming from the re-engage. So what do you think we're going to see out of this beat drop from Poppy?
So we have a lot out of that. What they can do with that is for the blade, and they're definitely going to hold for the blade, but they're not going to need it this fight, that's for sure, with that big tire by Apple.
Yeah, totally. Clean Turd finding the value with the ultimate and continuing the domination there on the Junkrat as Shadows is going to be forced to retreat there. Another kill from Clean Turd as it looks like these grenades are just absolutely dominating the opposition at the moment. A lot of ults at the ready though, and this fight is going to start off very quickly. Boss Raiden not finding as much value again with the Earth Shatter. It seems like the ultimate ability hasn't been put to good use here, as speaking of good ultimates though, you're going to have Rome Treehouse dropping in self-destruct. Now it's countered out by a nice boop from Chungus. Shadows dropping in the blade, but it's not going to be enough as the percentage counts up again. Apollo will be winning the fight after just a few quick contests. And do you think there's even time for a re-engage with these staggers?
Hopefully they'll be able to touch here and keep this fight going, and they do.
That's a huge kill there onto Fury Foggy, who did have the Death Blossom ready to go. And again, it's just Clean Turd dropping in these mines. You will see Shadows moving over to the Pharah, but it's just going to be too little too late. As the Supercharger is put out onto the point, that's not going to stop Pride from swinging through with the hammer. A few kills here for Profits, but it's just not enough for them to get back onto the objective, as you will see the second round going in a much easier fashion there to Apollo as they've tied it up here on Ilias.
Yeah, that fight there, we saw some really good Reinhardt play there from Pride. In that composition with the Orisa, against the Orisa, he just got to swing and do all that, get the ult charge, and he did a really good job there playing with just that Diva alongside him, while Profits had that Orisa to try to soak up some of that damage.
And the Orisa will be swapped in the end as Amtree preferring the Zarya. That seemed to work out for them on the Ruins. We'll see if it works out here, as they've also gone back to the trusty Pharah of Shadows. And that might prevent all of that damage coming out from Clean Turd, and it's going to prevent Viper from being able to engage in this fight, as you will see trades coming in. Again, Boss Raiden charging through, opening up the space for Shadows and the rest of Profits to maybe get some value. You see both Reinhardts falling here, as it looks like Profits are just going to try and stay on the objective for now. They don't have much support, and their health bars are not looking very good, but they will be able to start us off with a cap, as looks like we'll just see the reset from Poppy Locky, and the first percentage again going the way of Profits.
Yeah, that first fight, not coming out with the hit scan against that Pharah is very tough to try to cap that. No surprise there that they didn't, but they are coming out with the Soldier here now with Viper. We'll see if they can take out the Pharah.
Up on the high ground, you have Rome dealing with Fury Foggy, who on the Reaper might seem like a hard counter to the Diva, but that won't be so, as now it's Pride's turn to charge forward with these kills. It looks like Apollo will be getting yet another early flip back, but Shadows is trying to get back into the mix, and Brook with these resurrections is looking to get them back in, but there's a nice rip tire from Clean Turd. You will have the nano boost going on to Boss Raiden, but the objective will be flipped in the end. Now it's just going to be another one of these brawly fights. Now the Shatter finally finding value. Boss Raiden, that's the first successful one in a few attempts, as again Rome trading back with the self-destruct, it looks like this fight is going to go the way of Apollo, as they do have their main tank back in the fight earlier, and now just charging forward is Apollo. They've got the objective secured for now, and they're counting up the percentage, and they finally forced a retreat out of the opposition.
I think that was the longest hold that we've had so far this map. We'll see if they'll be able to recap, though, and try to lift up that 41%.
But with Clean Turd still dropping in the damage, that Pharah isn't really dealing with the Junkrat there on the ground, just spamming mines in. Now you'll have the Barrage coming in, though. It's countered out by Roam for the most part, and you will have Viper getting the final blow there. As again, it looks like Pride is now taking control of the Reinhardt duel as another Helix rocket goes onto Chungus, the Ana of Prophets. You'll see another reset and Apollo gaining the advantage in terms of percentage, and they could close out the map right here with a few fight wins.
Yeah, on Prophet's side, they do have a few big ults, but that is a very big stagger, massive stagger. They're going to have to touch last moment and get their whole team back together to try and win this last fight.
If you're Prophets, though, at least you're happy that you forced out the Coalescence. It was a big Coalescence from an Echo, but at least that ultimate isn't going to be ready for what's almost for certain going to be an overtime engagement. And if Fury Foggy gets picked off one more time, I think the map could just go the way of Apollo right here. You will see the Riptire committed early, and we could possibly see some kills. It's a big one yet again. Now the ultimates are just stacking on for Apollo. There's no contest from Prophets, and it looks like the underdogs starting us off with a close map here on Ilias, but in the end, they secure the win.
Yeah, that was very impressive on the side of Apollo. After losing that first map, not looking too great, being able to hold the point down after you cap it, just give it right back. And then being able to come back that second map, winning it, and then that third map, they just dominated Lighthouse there.
Yeah, totally. The Well and the Lighthouse looking a lot better. As we do end off Ilias, we will be taking you to a short intermission. Great work there from both teams, starting us off with a close one. That's just the beginning of this match, though. It's a first of 4 series. We'll be taking it to a short intermission, but we'll get straight back to you guys with some more action. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the finals week in Console Gaming League's multi-tier tournament here. For Xbox NA, you're going to have the 2 Tier 1 teams, Apollo and Prophets Knights, duking it out here after a very challenging Ilias. They're going down to the wire. You will have Apollo, the underdogs, starting us off with that map win, and a lot of substitutions coming in as we move forward in the match. Moving on to King's Row, Mimjob, you can walk us through what we're going to see next from both of these squads.
Yeah, well, really quickly, you use the term underdog for Apollo, and yeah, they are considered the underdog, but they have a really good chance at winning this game if they can contain the Pharah coming from Prophets. And that is the bottom line. When the Pharah was out from Prophets and there wasn't a hit scan to help take care of the Prophet or of the Pharah, Apollo had a lot of issues. But when they brought out the Ashe and the Soldier to keep that Pharah from putting in so much damage, then Apollo had a really good chance. And I'm not expecting a Pharah to come out here. I'm expecting a Mei to come out from Prophets here. But we'll see what we're getting.
Yeah, as we move on to King's Row, not necessarily a map notable for the usage of Pharah, so I imagine that Shadows will most likely stick to the Genji that he's also very proficient at here in the Tier 1 scene. And you will have Apollo still being in the blue jerseys to start us out. You're going to have Prophets in red. And about those subs, I mentioned it quickly before we came into this one, but a lot on the side of Prophets. They're going to be switching up the support line, bringing in Dom LG there. You'll also have Chungus moving in onto the tank line, as you will have Boss Raiden moving out onto the bench. And then also, I believe you're going to have Andrewsome coming in on the damage to round out what seems like a teleporting Bastion on top of the statue here for Prophets. On the other side, you're going to have Karandubs moving in on the support line. And yeah, it should be interesting. What do you think we're going to see from the statue teleporting Bastion here, as that's a common strat, but not necessarily one you'd expect in a finals here.
Yeah, definitely much worth noting that there is a large possibility here with the Bastion. That can roll through this Apollo defense here, and needs to stay out of that LOS of the Junkrat and not able to be hit. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, especially with the Mei-based defense, I think the teleporting Bastion just getting straight by the choke, it looks like that's exactly what Profits will do, setting up the Bastion this time in the main choke area. You will see the defensive wall coming out from Viper the Mei, but it doesn't gain too much value, as you'll still see Andrew Sum pouring in the damage. Chungus now on the Reinhardt roll, advancing forward onto the objective, and Apollo, with their shields falling low, they're going to be forced back momentarily. Still looking for an opening, though, is Profits, and the only opening we're going to see right now is the Clean Turd getting that kill onto Brook. That's going to force out a quick retreat, and it looks like Shadows will already be swapping off the Symmetra, and we'll most likely see a swap from Andrew Sum, but building up this tank, the
It's a very
configuration
unlucky
tank
death
there.
for Pride there. That Bastion's going to be an issue if Apollo cannot get a hold of that Bastion and take him out of the fight here. Already have an ult.
Oh, that's a really great Mei wall, forcing Andrew Sum off of the high ground and straight into a bunch of shielding coming out there from Rome. Perfectly placed shield, but it's not going to get rid of that Shatter, as it will be Chungus getting the Shatter onto the opposition, taking care of the Tire as well with a nicely timed Fire Strike. Rome trying to get back into the battle, but he's just burst down by the Coalescence in Andrew Sum. Partnering with these rockets from Shadows on the Pharah, they will be capping up on point A here with about half of their time left in the bank, and they've got a few good ultimates moving on to B. On the other hand, there's hardly any in the ultimate bank, and what do you think it's gonna spell here for the defense?
Yeah, well, that was a really large play by Chungus on the Reinhardt there, and just the way that he shattered, took out the team, got some kills, took out the Tire, and then after that killed the Reinhardt, the opposing Reinhardt. See if we can get more plays like that out of him here.
Rome is there to try and counter out that barrage with the defense matrix, but it's just going to be Shadows all over the back line of Apollo, especially with Bad Bunny Nick on the Zenyatta. There's not really much to counter out that barrage there. That did get 2 kills, 3 in the end for Shadows there, as Profits storming through objective B with a huge time bank, and they have the Grav and almost another Earth Shatter from Chungus, so I'm expecting another fight win probably.
Yeah, we'll see if Chungus can get that shield up. Oh, what a block Shatter there, and now that Bastion is just gonna rip through the rest of that defense here.
3 kills for Andrew Sum, beaming down the opposition, and they're still able to hold the Graviton Surge in their pockets here for the next objective. And with 5 minutes and a huge ultimate bank, still nothing in the bank for Apollo. This is looking like absolute domination from Profits. How do you think there's any way to get back into this one?
They got to take out that Reinhardt, and they got to take out that Bastion. That Bastion has to be first focus, and then they got to take out that Reinhardt, because Chungus on the Rhine is putting in so much damage and protecting that Bastion.
That's one half of it, and you will have Clean Turd getting a nice Rip Tire there, as Andrew Sum getting 2 as well with the configuration tank, but it's not going to be enough for the Bastion, as Clean Turd picking up a 3rd before falling. With the main tank, it looks like Pride will be able to stave off the opposition for now, but it looks like Chungus wanting to get straight into this battle with the Earth Shadow ready to go. We could see it right here, right now. Jumping around the corner, does receive the nano. Now it's time to push for Profits.
Wow.
The Shatter just going straight into a shield, but now Imtree dropping in the Graviton Surge. That's so much damage, and Shadows with the 3k. Imtree following it up with 2 more. Brooke says, leave some for me, getting the kill on to Rome the Diva, and now
Profits did ult out there, so they're not looking at much to hold this here. If Apollo can try to hold this for as long as they can and stall.
I don't think we're going to see a stall, though, with Red filling the kill feed yet again. Shadows dominating the sky. Chung is dominating the Reinhardt duel, and it looks like these substitutions that Prophet's Knights brought in here for King's Row are paying off with a lot of work done from all their players. Very good strategies coming out from them, and they look like the Titans they were during the regular season right now. And they're looking very strong to maybe tie us up here in the series.
Yeah, that was a very impressive roll there on the side of Profits. With a 3-minute and 17-minute time bank. They lost one fight, maybe 2 fights in there, but we'll see what Apollo can muster up here to see if they can get anything left on that clock. As long as they can get that 3rd point with any time left, they'll have an opportunity to attack that 1st point again.
Totally. I said during our short little intermission there that I think a lot of these maps are going to go to the extra innings, as I like to say it. These extra rounds are definitely possible, as the win condition is set here, but not completely over for Apollo, as looks like they'll be setting up for this one. You're going to have Shadows staying on the Pharah, and Andrewsum moving on to the May. That's the first time we're going to see it out of Profits during this series. And how do you think this first fight is going to shape up?
Yeah, it all comes down to Clean on that Widow. Again, I was saying how that Pharah, if she's uncontested, Apollo has little chance to win this. But with Clean on that Widow, there will be plenty of contests on that Pharah. We'll see what they can do with that.
And it looks like Chungus getting worried there on the tank. There's a nice wall to counter out this pick from Clean Turd, as the shot's going to Brooks' head, but the hammer is meeting Pride, as it looks like that push through the choke point is going to be met with some nice icicles from the May, coupled with that wall as well. Viper's going to be trying to move into the back line, but for the most part, this push is staved off, and looks like Profits are going to get a quick cut down on the time bank.
We have a Blizzard coming out on the side of Profits this fight. But we're going to have to see a quick regroup and push into this fight here.
Yeah, I think meeting up against this May ult from Andrewsum, the Blizzard is going to be huge. If Rome can eat it, then I think there's a good chance that Apollo might be able to engage, but they have to worry about a Shatter, and that's a 5-man Shatter, as Chungus is just dominating in the Rhine duel at the moment, receiving the Immortality Field. And now it's a counter Shatter though, and with that Immortality Field just going down, you're gonna see dueling coalescences here in the choke point. That's a nice Blizzard though. You're gonna have Bad Bunny Nick dropping in the sound barrier to maybe counter this one, and it's an ult fiesta, they say, as it looks like Profits is gonna come out on top. Just getting the final kills is the tank line, and great support ults there, I think, from Brook and Dom, and in the end, I think with that Blizzard, that's what's secured them the fight.
Of course, that Blizzard was massive. Ooh,
oh my goodness, already! It's another Shatter from Chungus, who this time will be cut down low, and there's not going to be any follow-up. With so many Shatters, it's going to be devastating to the health bars of the opposition. And now you will see a duplicate onto the Rhine, but it's met with a wall. There's the duplicated Shatter, and Clean Turd moving over onto the tank for just a few seconds is going to be finding some value here. Charging forward, it does have another duplicated Shatter ready to go. That's 3 kills for Clean Turd there. Just following up is the rest of Apollo, as Rome picks up a kill. Will be moving forward onto that Genji of Shadows, and Andrewsum is all alone on the objective. 5 kills, almost a team wipe from the Clean Turd, as finally the objective unlocked with just a minute left in the bank.
Man, that ult is so impressive. Being able to swap to any hero that you want, and then any hero on the other team, I should say, and then getting that 70% ult bonus is just massive. Having 2 Shatters, Earth Shatters, in a matter of 15 seconds is incredible.
Oh, that's a nice block there from Pride, finally blocking these huge Shatters from Chungus, but now they have to deal with Shadows. Dashing through will be picked off during the Blade, and now you will see a nice wall from Andrewsum, blocking off everything from what could have been a team fight winning Diva Bomb there from Rome Treehouse. Now you will have the Graviton Surge ready to get back into this one, and the ever important May Ultimate, the Blizzard, coming online. Here comes the Grav, and that's 4 people caught in it. You will see this huge Earth Shatter, though, from the offense, as they're just trying to stabilize after a nice countering Blizzard. Clean Turd not getting value out of that duplicate, will be picked off in the end, and the ultimate usage coming out in Prophet's favor, and they will hold at the corner here.
And again, that Blizzard from Andrew Sum on the side of Prophets, that was big, but we do see the swap now onto the Ashe to try and take care of the Pharah on Apollo's side.
Yeah, a few swaps from the damage lines, but right now I'm looking to Chungus. Oh, another block from the Shatter, and now Shadow's trying to move into the backline, will be met with a Coalescence from Krondubs, who has been farming those up like cooldowns. On the other side, Dom LG's Coalescence isn't going to do enough to save them from the mines of Clean Turd, moving over onto the Junkrat yet again. Now, you will see Prophets retreating successfully here. They have the resources to do it, and you will see Dom, LG, and Kron farming up those Coalescences already halfway, both of them. Those health bars are just too low to contest the objective at this point, as Andrewsum trying to get in there with the Dynamite, but it's just not going to be enough. You will see a 3-minute time bank, so it's less for Apollo, but they still have a chance moving forward here into C, especially with a few picks like that.
Yeah, they just need one more point, and this game is back to square one here.
Oh my goodness, that's huge.
Another time.
Shadows getting rid of Clean Turd there, but the Riptire just following it up with 3. That's definitely going to give a lot of space here for the offense. Chungus trying to just retreat back in cover here. Won't be taking damage from those rockets, as Viper moving on to the Pharah there. You will see Shadows again moving into the back line, getting cleaned up, and now meanwhile you will see another Shadow coming out from Pride on the objective, following that up with a pin. Now people just trying desperately to get onto the objective, and you will see the bomb coming out from Rome Treehouse, picking off one with the missiles meanwhile. Now the re-engage, though, it's very strong. There's ultimates to work with if you're Prophets, and 4 kills already. It's just going to be a quick retreat from the 2 survivors, and with just over a meter left, you will have Prophets with superb ultimate usage there. They are going to close out the fight, and Tree just giving a bit of disrespect, jumping off the map as well.
That was a very impressive win there on the side of Prophets, and now they do still have that Graviton Surge in their pocket to try to hold this for a little bit longer.
Chungus getting the Zarya bubble there as Pride just trying to charge forward onto the objective. Rome will be supporting here, trying to give enough space for Viper to build up that barrage. It's ready to go, but Andrewsum, nice headshots, moving so low. He will have the Shatter coming out on the point meanwhile, but it's just not going to be enough, as there's so many reinforcements here from the side of Prophets, and just so many kills in general. As Chungus closing out the fight, Imtree giving a bit of a tactical crouch there at the corner, and another fight win going to Prophets.
So again, a lot of ults coming in from the side of Prophets, where we have Graviton Surge, Earth Shatter, Bob, and Amplification Matrix, as well as a Coalescence coming in. 5 ults to try to hold this last fight for this map 2 win.
Gonna say it looks very doable, unless a miracle Riptire or a miracle barrage here comes out. Speaking of the first one, the Riptire ready to go. You will have it coming down from the high ground. That's a nice immortality barrier there from Brook. Oh no, it's all done here. Viper with so much value from the barrage, but it's just countered back with millions of ultimates. And now with the time bank below 10, it's looking very grim for Apollo. They don't have the resources, the speed to touch the objective, unless Bad Bunny is able to get there. It's not going to happen, as the Grav just closes it out. You will see Prophets tying us up, and their substitutions looking like it's paying off at the moment.
Yeah, that was some very good play. Reinhardt play here on the side of Chungus. He played extremely well. As a Reinhardt player, I love to watch the Reinhardts just battle it out. And I think that map, Chungus had the upper hand. So we'll see if Chungus comes out again on this third map.
Yep, totally. And yeah, it's gonna be this tying it up in the series. Prophets Knights looking very strong at the moment as we will be going out of King's Row. There's a lot to talk about as it looks like those substitutions definitely paying off, like I said before. So Chungus moving up onto the main tank is looking pretty good here. As Pride definitely putting up the work, but for now, Profits just outplaying the opposition across all cylinders. You saw people pop off, and I think the attack round is really what did it for them. If they didn't put together such a blazing attack, I think Apollo wouldn't have been as discouraged to get back into this map. And you will have us moving over onto Hanamura for our next map. We're just getting those substitutions and whatnot. Shout out to Chef Billy there in as our lobby host for tonight, as great work from him to just get our team situated, communicate with them to get these substitutions that have been making huge impact in the match. As we move over to Hanamura for our next map, what do you think we're going to see out of both sides here?
So again, well, hopefully we see that Reinhardt from Chungus, because again, that was impressive Reinhardt play. The shatters, the block shatters, the fire strikes, the earth shatter after earth shatter. Excuse me, being able to charge it up that quickly to be able to have an impact with it. And then the Pharah, we didn't see much in there. I don't think we saw a Pharah from Prophets, but we did see it come out from Apollo. But that was a quick swap due to the Prophets swap to Ash. And then there were big bobs there. I think it was by Shadows on the Ash there that had it.
I believe.
Andrewsome that just had a very large impact with the Bob. Being able to hold that third point at the end there for Prophets, there was a Bob that just held point and let the rest of the team be able to regroup and get picked. And I think that was a big reason that they held that third point.
Yeah, totally. And now as we get these substitutions done, it looks like you're going to have Rome Treehouse moving to the bench for Apollo as they prepare to get Poppy Locky onto the tank line, as well as Aneko moving back into the match. So a few swaps on that end, as you will see Boss Raiden moving back into the match as well here. And so it could be anything coming out from both sides, as you have Chungus actually taking the bench after putting up a very dominant Rhine performance. You'll see Boss Raiden going back into the match. I don't know necessarily about the decision making that was involved in that one. Maybe it's just getting some rest. These finals can be very tense, very crazy for these players. And also, we will be swapping sides as well, so there's that.
We could be seeing kind of a bunker comp on both sides coming out. Hanamura is kind of known for that Orisa and Hog or Sigma. I know that both teams do have some Sigma players, so we'll see if they do swap this up to a double shield with Orisa, or maybe an Orisa Hog to just change up the tank line and see if that works better for either of these teams.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, speaking of those tank lines, that is what the substitutions were mainly. So as we move over onto Hanamura, yeah, we could see the double shield. We could see many other things. I'm expecting Shadows is probably going to go back onto the Genji here, and I want to see some of the Clean Turd Junkrat right now. I think defensively, Junkrat, this is one of the strongest maps you can pick him on. So if Clean Turd comes through with the Junkrat selection, I think there's still that pop-off potential that's been going on for the whole match. We do have the readies from both squads. We're launching up the map as we speak. And yeah, we did switch sides, so we are going to have the side of Prophets this time in the blue, and Apollo taking the offense here to start out. What do you think we're going to see here? As I'm expecting some hit scan from Andrewsome, a lot of Ryan Zarya, and yeah, that's all I...
What do you think about a potential Symmetra strat here, where we can teleport on point to try and get the point quicker, try to catch the defense off guard for a quick cap? It looks like we are getting that, so we'll see how that works out.
It's actually on the defense, I believe.
Oh, that's on the defense. Oh,
Shadows and Andrew
okay.
Sum again playing the Symmetra and the Bastion, which I think is a very strong strategy. I've seen it dominate my games in ranked. I've had some very bad experiences going up against a very coordinated Bastion style squad, but in anticipation of that, you will have Poppy Lucky playing the Sombra, so that's a nice counter there to the Bastion, maybe getting a hack and getting those nades onto what could be a vulnerable Bastion in the end. We'll see if Brook can keep dominating there on the Baptiste role, as we're going to see sort of a laid back hold, just trying to give as much space as possible for Andrew Sum to work with. And it looks like Andrew Sum's actually going to be on the high ground, raining down. The hack is going to come in a lot too late to save the rest of Apollo, as Clean Turd's actually going to be trying to move up onto this high ground. This is probably the weirdest positioning I have seen in a long time, but it's working out for Profits, and they're already halfway to that tank configuration.
Yeah, I don't think Apollo is expecting that. So now that they know what they're expecting, we'll see how they choose to take this fight.
They do
Looks like
have
they're going
the
around,
Sigma
which I think is a right call here for them.
moving up onto the staircase is Apollo, just trying to find the space to maybe advance onto the objective and get out of the line of sight of the Bastion, who doesn't have a teleporter anymore. Just as I say that, though, you will see the teleporter ready to go to get this Bastion back in position. Meanwhile, though, you're going to have the rest of Apollo engaging onto the objective. The tank line, Viper was a bit too far forward there, getting picked off in the end. And now as the tank is dropped in from Andrew Sum, it's just going to be finishing off this fight. A nice pull there from ImTree as well. And another reset here as the time bank is nearing just half left.
Yeah, another hold there. And it looks like we are going to be having some ults on both sides here. So we'll see what happens if we can get a cap here, or if we're going to go down to the last minute on this first point on Hanamura.
I want to see a huge EMP here from Poppy Lucky. I think that's the one tool that you have if you're Apollo. There's not much you can do against a Bastion who's just chilling up on the high ground with a shield from the Sigma, just spraying down the opposition. But that's a nice hack onto Brook, who will fall in the end. And Poppy Lucky in the end will be picked off, though, by some nice blasts from the Bastion. Now you have Boss Raiden dropping in the Gravitic Flux just to try and put some damage out onto Pride, who will be moving forward. And now just again, it's Andrew Sum putting in so much damage on the Bastion. You're going to have Shadows trading back a few kills that were gained by Apollo. But now they've made a presence on the point. Andrew Sum firing through the little window there, getting a pick. And it's probably not going to be enough, though, as the respawn advantage goes for the offense. And they're just chilling in this little corner out of the line of sight. There's not really much to contest with. And with almost the percentage gained, it looks like we will see the cap coming in. Oh, that's unlucky. Andrew Sum just killed straight out of the animation there, and it's snowball time.
Yeah, and we have the Baptiste respawning, but it looks like they... Oh, never mind. But we're going to quick fight, and then the EMP...
Oh, that's a nice shatter. Brook, though, with a huge immortality field to block that out. And now the damage coming in from both sides. You will have Boss Raiden and Brook falling, but it's traded out. And picks for the defense are just so much more important. You do have 50% gained, and it looks like Apollo, they still want in this fight. It was even, but now it is definitely not, as so many kills going their way. It's a great sound barrier there from Bad Bunny Nick.
Ooh,
and
we'll have the
cooldowns and the ultimate used there from Brook to just get back into this one. It's been flawless Baptiste play on that side, but right now it's just red in the kill feed, all red, as the hack goes on to Boss Raiden. He'll be taken care of as Tree just trying to stall it out. Finally a few picks for Profits as they're still contesting on the objective. Another great hack there from Poppy Lucky, just trying to secure these final eliminations. But now the reinforcements are dwindling for Apollo. It's not looking good for them at all. And Andrew Sum with the Tracer already building up a pulse bomb on this contesting hero. And it looks like with just about 3/4 captured, you will see the reset.
Yeah, that was another good fight there on the attack, but a great hold there on the defense. It looked like it was basically over. It looked like there were 5-1, 4-2, uh, but they did have those respawns, and that was the way that they were able to win that fight and keep
Oh
this map going.
no. How did Anderson win that 1v1 with Poppy Lucky? Anderson was hacked and in a bad spot around the corner, but nevertheless, you will see Anderson dominating on this Tracer. Now the high ground rotation is coming out from Apollo. They've secured the high ground, but they have to watch out for a pulse bomb, which picks up a ton of damage onto the opposing main tank. It's just going to be Anderson trying to put in some sort of solo push here, as Shadows will be hacked up. There goes the damage,
Big
but
shot.
now Boss Raiden with the Earth Shatter. It's going to be countered straight out by the Clean Turd there. With the Riptire, you're going to see the pin onto the point, as these dueling coalescences is just going to favor Apollo. There's nothing left for Profits to do except lose the round. And a minute and a half on Hanamura, I think that is a good feat. And Apollo looking pretty strong coming into this one, but we are not quite done with this map.
Yeah, that was an impressive attack. You know, that first point took them a little while. You know, they were down to a minute, 35, 45 seconds for that first cap. And when that happens, you know, you obviously have less time. But the defense kind of has that feeling that, oh, one fight, we got this, we're going to hold this. And just a few mistakes on the defensive side that allowed the attackers to finish that cap with a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, totally. And it looks like we're going to see a Torbjorn Junkrat defense. I really like this personally. I think Torbjorn is an underrated strong character. The Swedish dwarf can get tons of value for the team, especially with these turret positionings on Hanamura. I think it's a great spot to pull out the Torbjorn defense, and Clean Turd, of course, is going to dominate on the Junkrat, just because it's Clean Turd. He's proved himself to be very dominant on the Junkrat before, and actually will be moving up onto the high ground to maybe get some sort of flanking angle on the opposition. It looks like Imtree is actually going to be sticking to the Hammond here. So how do you think that shapes up with a hybrid dive approach?
Yeah, I'm not honestly too sure where we have the Symmetra coming in, but with the ball, I'm not too sure.
You will see Clean Turd getting so much damage from up on the high ground, and there's actually going to be a pick as Viper moving on to the Diva will be able to finish that one off. That's just the beginning, though, as you will see a turret kill followed up by a nade and another kill from Viper the Diva. As this first push is dealt with pretty swiftly, you will have Imtree moving on to the Reinhardt for a more traditional composition, you could say, as Shadows and Anderson have both swapped as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the right call here on Hanamura. They did get off of the Symmetra, though, so we'll see, but they do have a lot of spam damage in that Fire and Junkrat.
I am looking to Clean Turd yet again to put in a big Riptire. It's coming straight in, but there, Brook with another good Immortality field. You can't praise this Prophet support line enough for what they're doing to keep their team in this match. You will see Boss Raiden firing back onto the Clean Turd, who didn't get the value out of the Riptire and who will fall in the end. Now there's an amplification matrix. That's going to be a lot of damage onto the opposing main tank, and Pride will fall in the end. You're going to see a Transcendence partnered with a Molten Core there, so there's not really much room to be gained in the choke right now from Profits, and that's really smart play here from Apollo, just trying to stall out the time bank as long as possible. If it costs them ultimates, at least they get their respawns back into the mix, and I think that's really good for them.
Yeah, this Pharah is going to be an issue here for Profits. It was an unnecessary trance that Pharah just made it come out, and we'll see how much more that Pharah can make happen here.
For now, though, Pride with a big shatter, receiving the nano as well to just finish off those members who were knocked on their backs. And now the ultimate banks finally shaping up in Profit's favor, as they have a minute and a half to capture the objective. And with a Graviton Surge, I think there's a lot of combos that can be done here. You will see the Discord Orb going onto Tree, and a lot of damage dealt into that shield, and with so much spam coming from the Torbjorn and the Junkrat, it's impossible to advance in the choke point. You will see the Graviton Surge come out though, and now Shadows in the backline, dropping in the barrage. That's 2 kills. 4 overall for Profits as they're just moving forward onto the objective. Taking it by storm is Andrewson with a nice grenade there onto Eneco, and what seems to be a very similar offense at the moment. Finally, with just a minute left in the time bank, you're going to see Profits capturing the objective, but point B, it's one of the toughest ones to capture, and with 4 minutes to build up ultimates, I think it's possible, but there's a lot that can happen here on B.
Yeah, and again, we're gonna have to see Apollo swap to that Ash or Soldier or something to help deal. Well, actually, it looks like we did just get off the Pharah on the side of Prophets.
So now you're gonna have Viper dropping in the self-destruct. That picks up 1, but right now it's Prophets firing back with a few kills. You do have Poppy Locky trying to drop in the Molten Core, but it's just hammered away by Imtree. Now the mech falling. It's just not enough. This Transcendence won't be able to do anything when it's going straight into a 6-person opposition that's on the objective, and this is looking very, very good right now as Andrewson is just filling up the kill feed. You still don't have this tick gained, as yeah, those picks can be huge, especially with Pride getting the shatter, getting the pin. You will have Andrewson traded back in the end, but the respawn advantage for the defense is so strong, it's probably going to be a hold here, as you do have the pin coming out onto the opposing Lucio from Imtree, but Poppy Locky firing back with 2 icicles. That's gonna seal this fight, and not even a tick gained here for Profits.
Yeah, that was an incredible fight there. Great stagger. Some big picks by Pride on that shatter, and then also killing the Zarya, which Zarya did not get much help against Pride there.
Now you're going to see the low ground approach coming out from Profits. Shadows forced off the high ground there, was trying to get an angle, but it looks like the rest of Apollo is going to be defending that high ground very strongly. In the meantime, though, Clean Turd following very low. There's the picks yet again for Profits. They've opened up the fight, but they need to do it perfectly from here on out. They cannot afford to lose players. Here comes the Graviton Surge. It's just faded straight out of by Eneco, so it doesn't gain too much value there. Now we see ultimates being committed. There's 3 just cleaning up. And with a full team kill there, there's not much contest that can be had, except for Pride just sort of dying on the objective. You will see almost identical attacks there, as a minute and 35 seconds is all that separates these 2 squads as we move into our extra rounds.
Yeah, and for both teams, they both did have an issue capping that first point. So we will see if either of these teams can capture this first point or get some ticks on that first point, let alone taking it all the way to the second. They have 2.5 minutes than they would normally start with. So we'll see what the attackers come out with here.
And we will have a short little pause as you do see a disconnect coming out from Shadows there on the damage line of Profits. There goes the pause just real quick. You will have us trying to gain the players back into the lobby, as you don't want to do a 5v6 unless it's absolutely necessary. Of course, there's some ruling on that. There is a timer that we will start counting down from this moment on to see if the player does get back into the match. So there's a lot that can be talked about as we move into these extra innings here on Hanamura. And like you noted, it's going to be very tough for either side to capture any progress here on A, because it took them both 3 minutes to do it on their last rounds. So it could be anything coming out here. What do you think we're going to see from the offense once Profits gets their player back in the lobby?
Yeah, I'm thinking Profits comes out with that sim again. They tried it with that May, but they came out on a ball, which didn't make too much sense because you're trying to get to point and you're trying to brawl out on point. But with the Hammond pick, it didn't work with the comp and what the team was trying to accomplish. So we'll see if they do try that again with the sim. It is completely possible and can definitely work. But I think they're going to need that Reinhardt for that to happen.
So we have received word that the party chat of Profits has died as well. So it might be a bit longer of a break here. It'll be a few minutes. So once that player gets back into the lobby due to those connection issues, and once the party is restarted, we'll take you guys back into the match. But for now, we'll give you a short intermission. Welcome back, everyone. After a quick little break there, we do have the connection issues resolved. Shadows is back in the lobby for Profits, and their party chat is ready to go. We're taking you guys straight back into the match here on Hanamura as both teams just getting ready. It looks like we are going to see a Sombra out here from the offense, and I like that. But on the other end, Poppy Locky running that sort of counter to Sombra, the Torbjorn, that I also really like.
So yeah, we'll see. We're not getting that sim strat. I was really hoping for that sim strat because a lot can happen with that sim strat. You know, that can be a quick snowball into a full second point win. So we'll see what that if we can farm Genji and EMP or EMP, let alone with anything else to try to win them a fight here.
Yeah, with a minute to work with, I think it's possible if Andrew Sum plays this one really well. You're just going to have him moving forward into the backline, giving a bit of a scouting mission as the rest of Profits are taking their positions in the choke point. A quick little trap there onto Imtree, and the shields will be low, as well as that Discord orb putting up a ton of damage from Bad Bunny Nick on the Zenyatta and getting the kill as well. That's a big kill right there because it just forces an immediate retreat, and Andrew Sum not able to build quite enough here on the EMP, only at 20%, and these few things going in Apollo's favor is definitely going to favor them in what could be a last fight coming up soon.
Yeah, we also have very little ultimate charge on Imtree for that Reinhardt, and the opposing Reinhardt is halfway there, so we'll see if that Shatter can make its way out.
Oh no, Clean Turd already ready to go with a Riptire. They don't even need it though, since Poppy Lucky is firing straight down the choke point. Here it comes, a nice bubble there from Boss Raiden, who will be trying to move forward. There's only 10 seconds to contest the objective if you're Profits, and you're getting stunned in the choke point. You're getting trapped if you're Imtree. There's a big kill. They've dropped in the Graviton Surge and they are on the objective, but there is a lot that needs to be done. That's a nice Shatter countering back by Pride though, and it's a huge boop. Oh my goodness, Imtree charging straight in, and oh, the turret though. The turret closes it out here. I think it's an EMP from Andrew Sum, and it's a 1-versus-1 fight here on the objective. Falling solo is Andrew Sum, and the kill is actually going to go the way of Viper. Boss Raiden's not quite there yet, and that's an insane one. That is some craziness.
Man, that Turb turret. How about that pin? Taking off two of them, you know, giving your team a real chance to be able to win that. But just that Torb turret, man, that was something else.
Oh my. We in our little match chat here, everyone's typing, what the heck just happened? As that fight was madness. You saw the charge, like you said, a nice res there from Dom LG to get Imtree back in the fight, who just sort of boops everyone straight off the map with a charge, but in the end falling, and in the end the Torbjorn turret, the unsung hero of the defense, as it gets 2 kills to seal off the defense. And then on the back of that, a short little 1v1 between a Sombra and a D.Va to maybe stall out the objective, and Boss Raiden on this Zarya just wasn't able to get back quick enough. Wow,
Yeah,
that was craziness. And
that was a good fight. But in the end, they did not get a single take, so they are looking to draw this map. While Apollo is obviously looking to win, and they're looking to do it with that pharmacy, while Profits only has that soldier to try to take care of that.
will have, yeah, Shadows on the Soldier, and Boss Raiden will be playing the Wrecking Ball, so maybe going to be expecting that Zenyatta, which won't be coming out from Apollo, so the pick there might not end up getting enough value from Boss Raiden, but that's a lot of damage from these pile drivers in the backline, just swinging through, doing a lot of damage. But for now, you're going to see Apollo getting past the choke point and advancing onto the objective, as now they've picked out Boss Raiden, able to put out a lot of damage and maybe a kill here after there's a nice trap, and that could open everything up for Apollo. They've just dipped down below a minute, but now they're getting on the objective. They're charging forward. That's a nice kill, trading back onto the Reinhardt though, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done if you're the defense. You need to take this Pharah out of the sky, and without your hit scan, it's going to be super hard. Nevertheless, it's a nice res, and again,
Like,
this Reinhardt duel is won by Pride. It's going to be a cap almost definitely here, as Boss Raiden's the only one just spinning around the point. There's a Riptire meeting him straight in the face, and that's going to be the cap going the way of Apollo. And after extra rounds here on Hanamura, we will see Apollo going up 2-1 in the series.
Yes, that was a very clean fight on the side of Apollo there, where they break choke, they take high ground, they do get an early pick on the Hammond on, I think it was Boss Raiden, and they took their time, they went after the Reinhardt and they tried to take out the Reinhardt. They did lose their own Reinhardt, but then afterwards they did get that res, and that's why you have that Mercy available. You know, you take that one that death, and you take it right back, and you make that fight, let alone even, but you give your team the advantage to go ahead and win that map.
Yeah, totally. And we did see that quick little watch of the play of the game there. It was Imtree. I honestly don't know if that charge was meant to take people off the map watching it back, but nevertheless, it was an interesting play. Profits unable to get that capture percentage on the objective, though, and in the end, they are going to go down 2-1 in the series. We'll be taking you guys to a short little break, and we'll get back to you with Escort in the Tier 1 Xbox Finals. We are back with some Finals Week action in the CGL Multi-Tier Tournament number 7. It's going to be Apollo moving up 2-1 in the series against Profits Knights after a hectic set of extra rounds there on Hanamura. We're going to be moving over to Rialto, though, and I believe we have a few swaps again from both sides. So, Mimjob, I believe you know what those are.
Yeah, so again, looking back at that last map, we saw some really great play all around, some great defense and some great attacks. But I have a feeling it's gonna come down to a Pharah, this fight here, or this map, and I think that's gonna be what can win this for him. But we also do have a few swaps, like you said, where we have Viper coming in. It looks like, actually, I'm not sure. One second, I gotta look at this. I think he's coming out.
Yeah, Rome moving on to the Diva role there for Apollo, as you will have Viper moving out onto the substitution bench, and then on the other hand, you have Chungus moving back into the match, out for Raiden, that is. And you'll also see a side swap, as Apollo will be starting us off on the defense, and Profits on the attack.
And it looks like we do have that Torbjorn coming back out for Apollo here. We'll see how that works out. Again, it's been working out pretty well for him so far, so we'll see if that can continue.
Yeah, and I'm looking again to this Chungus versus Pride Reinhardt duel here. Last time we saw it on King's Row, it went the way of Chungus for the most part, so we'll see if Pride can get back into this specific Reinhardt duel and take the upper hand here and give Apollo even more of a boost as they have moved up in this series. We're starting out on Rialto with some damage from Clean Turd. What else can you expect as you'll also have Shadows moving onto the Pharah yet again, this time without a Mercy for support though, so Rome might be able to go up in the sky with those Diva boosters and maybe take out that opposition's Pharah there. But for now, it's going to be the engage onto the high ground, and Andrewsum will fall. The Immortality Field is gone, and Brook will fall short after. It's just going to be a rampage here on the bridge from the tank line as Pride getting 3 kills with the hammer and cutting down a minute here on the time bank.
Yeah, Pride barely had to lift his shield up. He did a lot of swinging and a lot of swinging and some fire strikes, but he did not have to put up that shield because of that support. I think it was from Aniko there, just keeping that HP all the way up.
And yeah, with the amount of healing put out by Aneko, you will see the Nano Boost almost online. But now it's going to be a Shatter ready to go for Pride.
There it is.
Drop straight into the mix. That's so much damage from Clean Turd to follow it up. But Andrewsum, with a few nice snipes, might have gotten the offense back into this one. Also getting rid of the turret. Now Rome is going to be trying to dive on. Will find that pick. And for now, it's going to be a stalemate at the corner. But the offense will be able to push it a bit. They do have reinforcements coming in a bit sooner, and you will have I'm Tree ready to go with the Graviton Surge. For now, though, it's going to be Bad Bunny putting in a big rally, and with this Nano, there's a lot of space to be gained for Apollo. There's a nice shatter from Chungus, but it's not going to be enough at the moment. Shadows now dropping in the barrage. That's 3 kills before falling, and in the end, with the Amplification Matrix, it will be closed out. 4 ultimates used by Prophets, and they'll be able to take us into the end of A, possibly. And how do you think this next fight shapes up, as we will actually see a touch?
Yeah, so we do see a lot of support or DPS ults. We have Riptire, which does get 1.
Now, yeah, that's going to be it. That's all the defense needs, is those few extra picks. But now with Rome out of the mech, it could be shaping up for a possible re-engage from Prophets. That's not going to be the case, though, as Echo on this Ana is lethal right now.
Yeah, I've been spectating Anika and doing very well, you know, healing what needs to be healed, but also shooting at that far, because Ana is the one thing that can, you know, put a little bit of pressure on that fire here.
You will actually have Andrewsum sniping out Rome as the Diva just tried to get back into the mech. It won't be enough time, though, as now advancing forward with the Bob, and Brook getting a nice pick. Bob will follow it up with 1. That's going to be so much work done by Andrewsum here in this fight. And the hit scan specialist, the Ash specialist to be exact, is so far popping off on Rialto, and a 3-minute time bank moving forward with some possible split spawn staggers here. But again, Aneko looks like just solo carrying this support line for the moment, and they're actually going to be the ones with the picks. Apollo could maybe re-engage on the bridge.
Yeah, and there are a few ults coming on both sides, but mostly on the side of Apollo, so we'll see what they can do here, and a big charge.
You will have Brook dropping in the Immortality Field for the Diva Bomb, and Shadows firing back with 3. It's a boop onto Andrewsum, and in the end, Shadows gets 4 before falling, but the damage had already been dealt. They were down so many players. It looks like either way, Tree is going to be clearing out the objective. Just the threat of that Zarya beaming down the opposition is going to force Rome Treehouse back, getting him low in the mech. But now we're going to see the re-engage, and this time Clean Turd has this Riptire ready to go. Oh, that's a big counter shatter here. You're gonna have to wait for the Immortality Field to go if you are Clean Turd, and that's gonna leave some space for Prophets to get straight back into this fight. Their damage have just been rolling right now. That's 3 for Shadows and 2 for Andrewsum, sniping away the opposition and raining down rockets onto them, and they're able to hold this grab, which could be huge at the end of B.
Yeah, and that again, Brook on that Immortality Field saves Chungus there, and I'm sure there were others that were saved there after that shatter as well.
Now you're going to have some touches out on the objective. That's a huge sound barrier there from Bad Bunny. Nick getting all 6 members of Apollo with that extra health pool momentarily, though, as you will have Shadows trying to fire back. In the moment, though, it's going to be Clean Turd getting a few picks to seal the deal, and with 1 meter left, it looks like we're going to see a short little hold on the end of B.
Yeah, so we're looking at there are a few ults on the attacker side, and one that will, well, two, both of them together will definitely and could definitely win this fight here and go on to part 3 of this map.
Now you're going to see Shadows moving into the back line, but for now, Andrew Sum is going to be stuck in the respawn area as a nice pick coming off at the start, and it's followed up by a good pin from Pride, who has been taking this Reinhardt duel with Chungus to his side, and at the moment, it looks very good for a possible end of the round on B right here, right now. You will see ultimates built up from either side, looking for this Graviton Surge to get a lot of value, coupled with Shadows possibly dropping in a barrage. Going into the backlines yet again, you'll see Clean Turd trying to drop in that
lot of
Riptire, but it's gonna be Rome getting the Diva Bomb. At the moment, we might not even see a touch. There it comes, as it looks like Profits is firing back with a few kills. You have Shadows surviving throughout that barrage to get a nice kill, and it looks like the cap here on B is inevitable with that D-Mech with the kill onto Eniko, and support line is gone. Shadows is cleaning up house. It's going to be a point B capture for Profits, and they're going to be able to continue their offensive round here.
Yeah, and a lot of ults there coming in on both sides. And the attackers just came out with the win, got a few more picks with that barrage, taking out both DPS on the side of Apollo. We'll see what they can muster up here on this defensive side with just 1 fight left.
And Shadows, despite being on that Pharah, will actually fall off the edge. It looks like that was for a swap, as they do have a pick to their name, though, so it's going to be a 5v5 at the moment on the objective. Now Chungus does have that ultimate ready to go. Bob is in the mix, but he is slept. Now there's so many ultimates from both sides. You're actually going to have Shadows deflecting the Deadeye from Poppy Locky, and that's going to seal the deal for this attack from Profits. They're going to be able to advance forward onto the objective with these final ultimates. They might be running into a touch, but the Grav is going to seal the deal. I'm Tree preventing that recontest, and just a few celebration ultimates there in the objective, as I think this is huge. If you're Profits and you cap with time remaining in the bank, that is crazy, especially on Rialto here.
Yeah, it was definitely a great attack. You know, they stalled out a few times, especially on that second point as well as the first point. But they were able to just roll right through that third point. They got 1 pick early, and then Genji on, I'm sorry, who was that? Andrew? I think that was Andrew, or it was Shadows. It was Shadows who returned that Deadeye back to McCree to kind of negate that ult, and also kind of get an ult for the Genji himself.
Yeah, totally. They swap there off of the Pharah and onto the Genji, paid off for Profits, and now you're going to see Clean Turd on the Widow to start out this one. I think that's a pretty good pick when you're expecting Shadows on the Pharah. That's exactly what's going to happen, as you will have Dom on the Mercy to just pocket out those rockets. Now you're going to see, for the first time in this series, it's going to be some double shields. And the Orisa Sigma pulled out. How do you think that's going to shape out in this offense?
So firstly, we'll see if that Orisa can get some halts on this bridge here, because that could be a major thing. That could help hold this first turn for quite a while, if that can happen.
Goodness, Clean Turd. 2 huge snipes onto the offensive sniper there, and then on to the Mercy of Dom LG. But now a few kills coming back. Shadows got 1 on to the aggressor there, onto Clean Turd. But for now, it's going to be a lot of space gained, as Rome is just firing so much on the D.Va. Moving forward onto Iron Tree, that's going to be the beatdown kill. And Shadows trying to fire back, still in the mix here on the Pharah, just opening up a bit of room for Profits to work with. But with so many people falling, there's a lot of space gained after just a minute here on A. You're going to see one pick for Shadows after he does end up falling to a nicely timed icicle, and the cap might just be right here right now unless someone can touch. Now the kills are going the way of Profits as they've made it onto the objective with a great immortality field yet again from Brook. The kills coming in for them, and they've stabilized here at the end of A. This is where you see a lot of full holds, and with a minute cut down off the time bank, it could begin to spell that out.
Yeah, and we do have a slight ultimate advantage on the side of Profits here.
What are you doing there, Shadows?
I'm missing it. What's happening?
Shadows just went straight into the spawn and got walled off by Poppy Locky.
Oh no.
You don't want to be in the spawn if you're a Genji, especially when your team is defending so far back on the objective. That's going to be a big gravitic flux, but it's just counterbacked by so many ults here from Apollo, and with an early pick, it looks like they will be able to secure A with 4.5 minutes into the time bank. Just a few stagger kills here onto the support line as Dom takes a bit of a drink there in the river and will be sent back to the respawn gates.
Yeah, so now this upcoming fight, it looks like ultimates are kind of even. We do have Bob on the side of Profit, but on the attacking side, there is a Blizzard coming out. So we'll see which one helps a team more. So I'm not sure what to expect here this fight.
You do have Anderson dropping in the Bob, but it's just not going to find us much value as Rome Treehouse yet again is popping off on this D.Va. He's named one of the best in Tier 1 at the character, and it looks like that is proving to be true. But now, Shadows moving on to the Bastion. It looks like this swap is finally able to find some value, as he will be contested by the Reaper, and the kill comes in the end. But Profits, meanwhile, their tank line has advanced forward, and Anderson has got a few kills as well. The hold will take place for now.
Yeah, maybe not for long. We'll see how good this defense really is. They're looking to go up against 5, if not 6 ults this fight. So we'll see what happens.
The Shatter not necessarily getting as much as Pride wanted, will fall low as well, and there is the healing there as Aniko does have the Transcendence ready to go. You see trades out here, Shadows falling on the Bastion, and now it's going to be the Blizzard, which is absolutely huge, freezing up the opposition. Now they have to deal with Chungus, who's dropped in the Gravitic Flux with 1 health left. It looks like he'll get that off, but Bad Bunny Nick with that huge trance, like you said. And now Apollo's looking very good to engage at the end of B here. Bad Bunny is just carrying this fight right now. They will have to deal with the Coalescence from Dom LG though, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to have Clean Turd dropping in the Death Blossom just to be sure. And Bad Bunny getting so much there. The Transcendence, and then 4 kills now, that is. And just domination from the Zenyatta here, who's built up 60 to the next ultimate.
That was a massive ult. That is probably the biggest reason that they won that fight, keeping his team alive through that Gravitic Flux. And about to have another one too, while they still do have that D.Va Bomb on hand.
And now you're going to have Clean Turd moving around the corners with Pride, trying to gain as much space as possible. And again, it's a huge pick, and Bad Bunny has already built up a Transcendence. The Coalescence is going to engage. Now they have to deal with the pin from Imtree, who is very low. The Transcendence pushed out, and it looks like the bomb won't be finding anything. But the kills are coming in nonetheless. Andrew Sum is going to try and do something with the Deadeye, but it just finds the mech. You will have the kill there onto the Baby D.Va in the end, but there's not many people left on the objective to stall. Shadows now dropping in the Riptire, but there's not much reinforcements if you are. Oh, that's huge though. They did get the Riptire off, but still the Blizzard might have secured the end of this. Chungus on the Zarya won't be able to stall it out for long enough. And wow, it's been a crazy Rialto, and with a pretty big time bank, over 3 minutes, Apollo proving everyone wrong. we thought that Prophets had put together a strong attack. Well, that was just a one-up right there.
That was that was impressive. And at the end there, I thought that Riptire was gonna be able to hold that there for the defense, but that May Blizzard kind of just zoned a lot of people off that point. I should say the remaining people alive off that point, and that allowed for that cart to move a few meters and didn't allow the Moira to recontest there at the end.
Absolutely huge work here from Apollo, looking to go up onto match point in our series, but now they have to deal with in the offensive bastion, it seems, as Andrew Sum has selected our robotic cannon friend yet again. They will be taking the double shield approach, as well as Tree and Chungi is playing the Orisa and the Sigma respectively. Brooke and Dom still on that Baptiste and Moira that they have been putting out so much healing with. But on the other end, it's going to be their sort of traditional style from Apollo with their Torbjorn based defense and Roam on the Diva. How do you think this first one's going to shape out, as we do see the Bastion actually pulled into the mix from the offense?
Yeah, so we'll see if that Bastion gets killed or if that Bastion gets killed. And it, you know, they have the Junkrat and they have the shotgun to be able to do it, but down goes Clean on that Junkrat.
That is absolutely huge if your Prophet's a first pick gets you around these corners, which are aptly named the hardest corners in the game, the corners of death. It's really tough to get around those, but when your Bastion is just firing down everyone, that's another one there for Andrew Sum, who has got the Immortality field and so much healing ready to go. Kills flooding the area for Prophets, and they're looking to storm the end of A. With just 1 minute in the time bank, they've already almost made it here.
Yeah, it seemed like that was a lack of focus fire there. Some people going for the Bastion, some people not. And that's really tough to do with so much healing and also the Immortality from Brooke as well if needed.
So much space being opened up by Shadows on the Pharah. Will be getting an early pick to start off the assault here on B. And with these overtime rounds beginning, you will see no time in the bank left. There is no time extensions. It's do or die right now for the offense, and currently they're doing everything. They've got ultimates to work with, but they have to deal with Pride, who could possibly drop in a big shatter. The Pharah duel going the way of Shadows, as now that shatter dropped in, a lot of damage negated by the defense matrix, but it's just not going to be enough in the grand scheme of things. So many ults poured in by Prophets. They're going to secure this one almost definitely.
It's going to be a second point
and
gap.
Clean Turd might be staggered out here up on the high ground, ready to go with the Riptire. There it comes, but it's just...
No!
Oh no, that is horrible for Apollo, and we're going to see a point B cap. There's not really much they can do on the defense here. They're just playing Respawn Simulator right now.
Yeah, this is an impressive push here by... So we'll see what they can do on Apollo's side, on the defensive side, trying to get rid of this Bastion. They haven't put much in many resources into killing this Bastion, and with that, we'll see if they're able to stop this this roll here.
And the ultimate bank is looking pretty even. You have tank ultimates ready to go for Roam. And now Poppy Lucky dropping in the barrage. That is what you needed if you're Apollo. There's 2 kills from both of their ultimates that they used. That overtime went down so fast, but it's an amazing attack if you're Prophets. If you think back, they only had a minute to start out the round, and they've captured not 1, not even 2. They've got almost all the way through the 3rd objective there.
Yeah, Apollo sure has a push here to win this map, but on their side they do have 3 minutes and about 15 seconds to make that happen. One thing that I noticed, there was a very large lack of focus fire coming from Apollo's side, not being able to take out the Bastion. That is a focus, especially like I was saying, with all that healing and the Immortality, just to keep that Bastion alive. And if you can't take out that Bastion, that means you can't get the point, and you cannot stop that payload.
Shadows jumping off the map with a I think I've seen this move before. I think he's gonna swap over. Yep, we're gonna see the swap onto the Pharah. Just maybe trying to confuse the enemy squad, but what's really notable here is Clean Turret going back onto the Widowmaker. If we see what happened last offense from Clean Turret, it's gonna be a quick point A for Apollo here.
Yeah, we'll see what we have Pharahs coming out from both sides, but no Mercy on either one. So we'll see which Pharah can do the most without that Mercy pocket.
And now you're going to have the advance onto the bridge. It looks like Poppy Locky for now is going to be taking out the offensive hit scan. Shadows on the other end, though, firing back. The Pharah duel happening now here on the bridge, but meanwhile the people are on the objective. People are trying to get some kills. Rome Treehouse ends up aiding Poppy Lucky there in the death of Shadows, and now Pride is charging forward into the mix. You're going to have the side of Apollo opening up tons of room with a Neko doing so much damage on the Moira, using that damage ability to its full potential. That's a nice D-mech if you're Prophets, though, and there's a chance to recontest at the end here.
Yeah, so not a lot of ultimates coming out from either side here, but we do have an early grab in the pocket to try to, slow this roll down. There's only a few fights left that the defense needs to, be here for. So we'll see if how long it takes to win that first fight.
I remember back to another playoffs match in the Tier 3 Xbox scene that went all the way down to the wire in these extra innings. It was almost a 5-5 battle, so we could be seeing a glimpse of what happened during that playoffs match. For now, though, Andrew Sum is trying to end it right here, but now they have to deal with that barrage. Poppy Lucky not getting anything with that. A Rocket does get one kill, but in the end, it's going to be the Shatter coming back here as Brook doing damage. Andrew Sum with these off angles doing even more damage as Chungus blazes forward. Clean Turd is the last one left on the objective. Won't be able to do anything at the moment. Well, just as I say that, that's 2 kills, and that could be big, even though he's most likely going to end up dying here. Actually gets out. That's crazy to me. How Clean Turd was able to survive through that and build up so many ult percentages there, and that could have just unlocked the end of B for them, as it looks like they're already going to re-engage here. They don't want to waste any time, and they can't waste any time, as Clean Turd moving so far forward into these backlines, picking up a lot of damage, does have the Death Blossom ready to go, and Bad Bunny is taking the opposing Pharah out of the skies. You're going to have the bomb dropped in, Rome finding one with that onto the opposing off tank. Now the objective has all but been capped. There it goes. And now with these early picks, we could see Apollo potentially getting the capture here at the end of C.
We do have a lot of ults coming in on both sides, including a Bob on the side of Prophets to contest this point when there needs to be point contests. I'm not sure what's going on with Pride. He's kind of standing here in the backline. I think his controller died.
Yeah, that's horrible for them, as it looks like Prophets are just going to take advantage of that short little controller disconnect there. Oh, that's so unlucky if
that
you're
is so
Apollo.
Unlucky.
That could have caused your defeat there, as it looks like the ultimates are going to be poured in from the defense. They will end it off here with just a few meters to go at the end of C. Around the corner, Prophets are going to be tying us up here in the series, and Pride with some sort of issue there getting back to the objective, most likely a controller disconnect or something of the sort, and that is not the way you want to end out such a close map like that.
That was a very good map. I think that was the best map that we had the whole time. Each side had a chance to win that game. Each side in overtime, in extra innings as you like to call it, moved that cart, past the second point, which you don't see too often, and they did that so incredibly well on both sides. The defense could have been better on both sides, but the offense was just the attack. It's so incredible. Ultimate usage, staying alive, the healing, the immortalities, like I said, the ultimates. That was that's such a shame that that happened at the end. I'm not sure what happened to the Reinhardt there, whether it was a controller issue or what it was, but that is unlucky for the attackers there, Apollo.
Yeah, and it was I was mentioning that earlier series that happened in the playoffs also on stream as well, going down to the wire at the end of the overtime rounds there, and profits on they're gonna be the ones taking advantage of that unfortunate moment there from Apollo. Moving forward with so many ultimates, they were able to close out the map. But now as we talk about our next one, we're going to be moving on to Busan for our 5th map of the series. Tied up 2-2 right now. It's going to be the map choice of Apollo, and they've picked Busan. What are your thoughts about that, as we also see a quick substitution?
Yeah, it looks like it's Viper. It seems like Viper's coming out for Rome here. But Busan again. We did see a ball earlier. Busan can be a good ball map, Hammond map if used correctly, and if it works against the other team's composition. I'm still expecting a Rhine, Diva, and Zarya coming out from both sides. As well as I have a feeling we're going to get a pharmacy on both sides as well. And we'll see if Profits does do that, if Apollo comes out with a hit scan to try to take care of that.
I think it's going to be a battle of the hit scans. On Mecha Base, we could see some brawl, something like that. And with both teams opting for their Reinhardt Zarya lineups, we're going to actually start it out not on Mecha Base or on Downtown. We're going to move over to the Sanctuary here. And that's where what you were noting, that Wrecking Ball, the dive sort of compositions could come out. You're going to see Pharah on one end from Shadows, and it looks like Viper will actually be moving over onto the Diva role instead of playing the Zarya to start out, and Andersum on the hit scan like usual, Clean Turd on the Junkrat like usual. Everything looks as normal, so this should be yet another crazy map here as these teams prepare to attack. What do you think we're going to see in this first engagement, Mimjob?
Whoa, we are seeing that pharmacy coming out. We'll see how that works out, and also no hit scan. So my guess is a very early first cap for Profits here, and then a swap to Soldier and Ashe, and then we'll see how that holds out for Apollo.
They're sending Chungus in deep, and he's going to be collapsed straight on. But now the pick's going for the side of Profits as well. You have Shadows trying to get that Pharah rocket back into the mix, and you do have the Resurrect coming in from Dom LG around the corner. But the picks are just too strong for the side of Apollo, as Andersum trades back with one, but in the end, Poppy, Locky, and the rest of Apollo had done the damage. They're going to take the first percentage here in our 5th map of the series.
Yeah, so we didn't get to see much of that Pharah there. That was a good spot for Apollo to take that fight inside. So we'll see what they can get here, if they can try to negate this Pharah from spamming and building up that barrage.
Speaking of building up ultimates, though, you have Poppy Locky moving forward almost there to a pulse bomb, which isn't necessarily the strongest ultimate in the mix, but it's still an ultimate nonetheless. And if you have that advantage, it looks like that advantage is gone. Nevertheless, you have Shadows moving in on the Pharah. Now everyone else is taking advantage of the picks and the space made by the Prophet squad. Shadows does fall to his own rocket, but will be resurrected, as in the end you're going to see a flip at 50% from Prophets. And like our last control, it seems like we're probably going to see a lot of fast-paced flippage of the points.
Yeah, so we're still looking at a few ults here. We're still looking at that barrage, and then we have plenty more. We have Shatters coming on each side, and we also have Self-Destruct as well as Graviton Surge coming out as well. We'll see which team can use that ult better to their advantage to win this fight here.
I think with almost the 6-pack of ultimates in the bag for the side of Prophets, especially with a pick made by Andersum, they have this fight under control. But just as I say that, Clean Turd firing back with 2 kills. You will see lots of ultimates committed from both sides, as Profits, they aren't done yet. They're committing both support ultimates. Pride not able to land anything with the Shatter. A nicely timed bubble from Tree, but the objective does flip, and Apollo now with the player advantage due to some great bomb spam from the side of Clean Turd, and the rest of Apollo will be taking advantage. Their tank line moving forward, getting the kills, and they'll move up to final fight territory in our first stage of Busan.
Yeah, and Profits does have the better ults here, but Apollo does have that self-destruct, which we know can kill every single person on that team and send them all back to that dressing room. So we'll see which ultimates come out the biggest here.
If you look in the top left corner, it's so much armor right now as the rally coming out from Bad Bunny again gets that max of value. Andrew Sum adding in the dynamite as well as the bob there to finish off Clean Turd. Now as we enter overtime territory, Shadows taking it into his own hands with a nice barrage, getting a pick, and you will have Poppy Locky in the back lines though, ready to go with that Tracer, and the shotguns may have just done it here for Apollo. The reinforcements are dwindling as these coalescences duel out on the point. Here comes the ultimates though, and Profits may be back into this one. Dom LG somehow able to find a resurrect there, but will be taken care of by the mines of Clean Turd. Now it's a pin going on to Chungus. A nice flail there from Bad Bunny, and with so much brawl potential from this Brig and from the rest of Apollo, it looks like we might be closing out the map here. Shadows says no though, getting rid of the Riptire, but it's just not going to be enough. Too little too late is the respawn situation for Profits, and they will fall in our first round of Busan.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed it. I don't know how it happened, but Profits did lose Shadows on that Pharah from a Reinhardt pin. So I'm not sure if that was he wasn't looking, or that's just something that you never see. And I saw that, and I was curious how that one happened. But unlucky for Shadows there on the Pharah. We'll see how they come out here, and it looks like we are getting a Mei to come out on this second point of Busan, and that will be massive. You get that first cap, and you can hold that high ground choke to keep try to separate the main tank and the off tank from the rest of the team and try to get those picks.
I would give the compositional advantage to the side of Apollo if Bad Bunny had stuck on the Brig. I think this map is very good for brawl compositions, and Brig is one of the best heroes to exist in these brawl style maps. You will have Andrew Sum trying to get some damage done in the back lines. For now, it's going to be a bit of a stalemate as the Prophet's health bar is dropping really low due to Clean Turd. Dropping in the mines, they're forced to fall down onto the objective. A trade coming in, Clean Turd paying for that kill with his life. The wall coming out will separate Profits up a bit, but it looks like with this separation, their dive style damage are going to be taking advantage of it.
Oh,
now an early shatter out onto the objective, partnered with an early coalescence as well. They didn't even need to use the other ultimates they built up. They've sent everyone back to spawn, and now they've gained the first percentage here on the mecha base.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can hold up this top choke. Going up against the Mei, it's very tough, because if you take one step too far, you will be coming out of spawn momentarily.
And now you do have Clean Turd ready to go with the Riptire along with many other ultimates on the Apollo bank, but they have to watch out for Shadows, who could drop in a big Dragon Blade. That's a lot of damage out onto the Riptire, and the bubbles were perfectly timed from Tree, who does have that Grav ready to go into the mix. Another big set of ultimates here from Apollo's support line. Now countering back is the Graviton Surge. You will have Shadows dropping in the Blade on top of that one. That's 3 kills for the Cybernetic Ninja, adding a shuriken to the face of Poppy Locky. It's going to be 4 here. The reset coming out from Pride, and we're going to see some domination here on Mecha Base from Profits, and they're looking very good to tie up here on Busan.
Yeah, Apollo used a lot of resources that fight. They used 4 ults to try to win that fight and didn't come away with it. But they get an early wall here on the Reinhardt.
Oh, now Chungus has a lot of space to drop in an
Oh,
Earth Shatter. It's going to go
oh,
straight in. That's 4 people. Andrew Sum on the back of that, getting 3 with the Pulse Bomb. And another 4 kill from the side of Prophet's damage lineup. This time it's Andrew Sum absolutely dominating and percentage building very far up. We could see a 100-0 map, as it looks like Chungus and Imtree want to settle it right here, right now. They have to deal with this May wall though. People are falling low, but these support ultimates from Prophets are most likely going to seal the deal. We are going to see a touch on the objective momentarily. The self-destruct not able to do anything meanwhile on the high ground, as the rest of Apollo has moved on to the objective, but there's not a lot of them left. They only have a few reinforcements to get back into this one. And with Shadows still running a rampage here on the Genji, that's going to seal out Mecha Base. 100-0 for Prophets, and moving on to downtown, it's anyone's game to get ahead in this series.
Yeah, just domination there on the side of Prophets. Following up that they got dominated on that first fight, on the first map. But something I noticed there on the side of Apollo, Poppy Locky on the May was trying to touch point while she had Blizzard, and the entire team of Prophets was sitting at that top choke. When you have Clean on the Tracer that is able to touch and contest and force overtime, there was a massive opportunity, especially with that May wall, and Chungus on the other side of it, to really take an advantage and win that fight.
It looks like I'm going to be having connection issues now, as my controller apparently doesn't want to work. I'm going to be calling in a quick pause now. Sorry, Billy, the lobby host will have to give it a quick pause as I reset my stuff. I'll be right back. Mimjob, I believe you can give us a bit of analysis moving into the background. But I'll be back momentarily. We'll see you guys in a second as I figure out what my controller is doing wrong. Welcome back, everyone. A short little break there, as it looks like my controller issues are all settled out, and it looks like the teams are all settled out to get straight into the battle here on the objective, as Clean Turd, despite getting a nice trap onto Chungus, will fall due to Andrew Sum's nice play there on the Tracer. And now Prophets are going to be advancing forward yet again. They have the advantage ready to go here, as Dom with a nice counter stun there onto Pride, who will be nevertheless swinging for the fences on this. Reinhardt will fall in the end, as Chungus is firing back with a huge set of hammer kills. That's 3 in the end, as the hack from Poppy Locky not able to do anything to secure kills there, and a lot of ultimates built in a short amount of time for Prophets.
Yeah, early on, Clean did go away. I think it was to the Reinhardt, to Chungus. Actually, I apologize. It was to Andrew Sum who took out Clean on the Junkrat. This is going to be a really tough fight for Apollo to win without that Junkrat, and he went down again. Just the lack of damage, just with that Sombra, who's only fighting so often. It's really tough to win this fight without that Junkrat.
A nice amount of damage poured on to Bad Bunny the break, but with this rally ready to go and the Coalescence is out on the point,
big counter
looks like
shatter.
That's a huge counter shatter as well. Now the opposing rally is committed into the mix. It's another old Fiesta here on the objective, as the percentage meter builds past 50 here for Prophets. Chungus taking a quick little retreat there, but Imtree moving forward with these bubbles will make a lot of space with this Graviton Surge. Shadows dropping in the blade. That's 2 kills already. It'll be hacked, but getting a lot of damage done nonetheless. Pride trying to retreat with the charge, but is beamed down by the lasers of that Zarya, and Prophets have their priorities straight. Getting rid of Clean Turd, getting no value on that Junkrat, and that leaves their damage open to do a lot more.
And still no EMP yet either. So that just proves the lack of damage that Apollo is receiving here, or giving out. But now we do see that swap on Afara, so there will be much more damage, but they do put away that EMP that they would have gotten this next time.
Oh, that's a huge stick from Andersson, who is just waiting inside that little hallway there. And as the rotation from Apollo went around the right side for that one, they were met with a nice stick. But nevertheless, you will have Poppy Lucky swapping over to the Pharah, getting rid of that EMP charge. And it looks like so far that's paying off for them, as Andrew Sum tries to fire back with I'm Tree, but in the end, it looks like Apollo, just at
Wow,
the right
big
time,
cap.
will secure the cap here.
That massive cap there. I did not think that they were gonna win that fight after they just lost 2 to the pulse bomb from Andrew Sum. But they did. They did end up winning that fight, which is massive. Now they're gonna have to hold for another 85%.
Yeah, it's a large task to hold when the other team has already built up to that overtime situation, and they have a good amount of ultimates. They can take a long fight to charge up what could potentially be 5, maybe even 6 ultimates. And now a few ultimates, speaking of them, are coming in. That's a nice shatter there onto Chungus, who will be taken care of. And after a short little fight, Apollo coming out on top, building past 40%, and they've begun their journey on the long way to securing Busan here.
Yeah, and there were big ults there, but now they're at a major disadvantage. They're looking to go up against 5 ults and maybe a 6, depending how long this fight can go, going up against that Coalescence. But against 5 ults, they need to play this fight absolutely perfectly. But right there,
Shadow
that's
just got
massive.
beamed.
And another
Great
one.
work there, and Poppy Locky just zooming forward with this May, getting a nice headshot there with the Icicle. Prophet's tank line are doing really well to get back into the mix though, and Dom LG is just cut out of the rally. Now you do have the Shatter, missing the mark there just barely onto I'm Tree, but it's not going to matter in the end, as it looks like Apollo might have closed this one out. They have to deal with the Blade though, it's already killed one, and without your main tank, this is anyone's game. Now these reinforcements coming in from both sides, and that's a nice blizzard to just close out some space. We're almost definitely going to see an overtime contest here, as now Chungus moving forward with the Shatter. It's blocked by an Ice Walk from Poppy Locky, who then in turn gets a nice Icicle onto the May, and this is looking very, very good for Apollo. It looks like they've just barely done it here on Busan, and taking out these final stragglers as Andrew Sum trying to get onto the objective, walled off by the May, but still making it barely. You'll have the clean turn, getting a stick there, but it doesn't do too much. Now Shadow's back on the Pharah, not able to contest for long, as you will have Andrew Sum trying to get back into the mix with Brooks Coalescence there. Pounding onto the point as I'm Tree and Apollo still have some work to do if they want to close this one out. Both tanks are back into the mix, but with this Coalescence, it's looking very doable. And with the Grav ready to go, that's going to seal the deal. 99-99 on the tiebreaker round of Busan. Apollo is going to take the lead in the series and move us on to match point.
Yeah, let me just say, looking back to Ilios, that was a much more clean map on the defensive side. You know, there were 2 caps. There were, well, a total of 3 caps. That first, well, it's 2 caps. Apologize. That first cap and that second cap. And looking at Ilios, what do we have? 8 caps in just about every round there. So that was a much more clean fight, map, I should say, from each team there to come out with that win. And Apollo did just give it just enough, winning that fight at 99 and then holding it for a whole 100+% for that overtime portion of it. That was a great piece of Overwatch right there, Busan.
Yeah, completely great work from both squads. That one was very back and forth, not necessarily as back and forth as Ilias, like you mentioned, but it looks like Apollo knows what they're doing on these control rounds. They've moved up 3-2 in the series, and we'll be taking you guys to the next map shortly, as that communication is currently being done in the match chat. A lot to talk about here, as it looks like playing at these Genji and Tracer dive style heroes, but comboing with that tank line of the Rein Zarya has worked out for Prophet so far. They've been able to negate the opposing damage, and I put it in my notes somewhere before the match that if Prophet's damage are able to shut down Apollo's, then they're going to take the match. But Apollo doing pretty well despite having their damage shut down, so it's honestly anyone's game. We're going to be moving to Eichenwald as our next map, and how do you think that's going to play out, Mimjob?
Yeah, well, bottom line, Profits is up against the wall, right? They got to win this map, or you know, the whole season it's gone. You know, right at the tip of their fingers. They're right there. They need to get together. They need to regroup. They need to win this match and then move on to map number 7. But in order to do that, they're going to need some spectacular play from their DPS to get picks, put in damage, and then also their supports. They have been incredible. Brooke on that Baptiste today has been absolutely incredible. I'm thinking we need more Baptiste because I have a feeling their win percentage so far through this match with Baptiste is pretty good. So I think they're going to come out with that BAP, and we'll see if that can help them win this match.
And again, here on map 6, we're going to have Apollo in the blue and Prophets in the red. That's been sort of the theme so far in this match. We did have a few side swaps, but at the moment it's going to be those current ones. We're just getting the readies at the moment, so it'll be a few more seconds before we take it into Eichenwald. I'd like to take that quick time to note that Bad Bunny here on the defensive A could get a lot of value out of the Zenyatta that we've seen before. And with that Zenyatta strategy, they'll have to watch out for Shadows on the Genji, though, which is also very strong here on Eichenwald. So it's a lot of different compositions can be done. Personally, I prefer a double shield for the defense, and on the offense, most likely some sort of brawl. Those would be my predictions. It doesn't look like we'll have any swaps. We will be heading into the map just as we speak. And with Apollo starting out on the defense and with these teams shaping up, what do you think we're going to see?
Oh, well, my guess here for Prophets on the attack is they're going to bring out a Pharah. You know, they've brought out Pharah a lot. It's worked. It's sometimes worked. I think they put a Mercy on the Pharah, and I think that's how they win this map.
Yeah, totally. And it looks like you've predicted it. We will see a Pharah. I was actually wrong when I said no substitutions. We're going to have Rome back in the match on the D.Va. And as we take you guys into this one, it looks like Poppy Lucky will be on the Ashe, partnered with Clean Turd on the Junkrat. As usual, I think Junkrat can spam a lot of mines through this choke, and it's the first time I believe we've seen Andrew Sum on the Hanzo. So how do you think this is going to shape up here on our first engage? What do you think these individual fights are going to entail?
Yeah, so Apollo does have the Ashe, right? So that's going to be a massive way to hold this pharmacy, you know, from really putting in too much damage and having too much of an impact. And there's a massive first pick, just immediate. How about that?
I'm going to give the credit to that one to Bad Bunny, who had dropped in a volley on the Zenyatta with so much damage. Rome, with a nicely timed set of missiles, does end up claiming the kill onto Brooke, who will still have a good amount of ult charge nevertheless, as Baptiste is able to build up those ultimates very quickly with the huge amount of healing that's being dished out at the moment. The Discord goes on to Chungus, and he takes a bit of damage coming into the choke, but meanwhile the damage from this Pharah is getting a nice pick onto Bad Bunny. You will see that Pharah fall in the end, and it looks like Eniko trading back onto Andrew Sum. That's not a kill you see a lot of times, and now in these late fight situations it's going to favor the Clean Turd and Rome here, as they just have those kits that allow them to do so much late fight damage. That's exactly what's going to happen, and even though the Apollo health bars did fall pretty low due to them losing a lot of their support, it looks like they have mustered a hold here.
Yeah, and now that we're looking at it, we do get a quick swap off that pharmacy to a soldier and a Moira. So we'll see what that soldier can do, if the soldier will be able to take care of the Junkrat here.
Now the trap is gone, so it's the time to push if you are Chungus and the rest of Prophets. That's exactly what they're going to do. Giving a sort of pincer movement, though, is Apollo. Clean Turd was hiding in that little room as Pride engaged on the Reinhardt down main. Oh, killed out of the Shatter animation is Pride. And now in a main tankless battle, it could be anyone winning this one, as the Immortality Barrier is forced out, though, and now Clean Turd falling low, but the counterpart damage on the other end will be falling low as well. The kills are going to go onto Shadows this time. Now Pride is back, ready to go up against Chungus, who again has this Discord taking so much damage. Now you'll see the
Ooh,
Amplification
big
Matrix
pick.
committed, and already a few quick picks out of that one. A nice Fire Strike there from Chungus, doing the full 200 damage to get that kill. Oh, that's a nice pin there. Getting the kill onto Chungus is Rome Treehouse, but that pin took down the shield at just the right time. Nevertheless, though, you're going to have Brook, Shadows, and the rest of Prophets filling up this kill feed, and in the end, they will most likely get this fight win. A few kills coming back into it, so we may see a recontest, but it's looking like Apollo is favoring the retreat.
Yep, this looks like a Prophet's first cap there. And now we are looking at another tough spot for the attackers. When these gates open up, if Apollo decides to push and fight at these gates, they have a real chance to waste a lot of time there.
Now you have Clean Turd dropping in
There's one.
that Riptire. That's a big pick onto the main tank. That's the best kill you can get if you're Clean Turd, taking out the counterpart Junkrat, as well as Andrew Some falls to a mine and a concussion bomb there. And now Rome is actually going to move all the way in onto Shadows, getting a nice stagger kill there and
Apollo
making it out barely with the mech. And yeah, there's a lot of ultimates in the bag for both squads.
Apollo has really good positioning right now with the Ash high ground. If they can hold Prophets inside of that gate with that Junkrat spam damage, they have a really good chance at holding this for another minute or two.
It looks like the Transcendence will be forced out by that Riptire from Andrew Some. Nevertheless, getting that revenge kill onto Clean Turd, the opposing Junkrat. And now that's opened up the gates for the side of Prophets to push forward. They have a Grav moving forward. The Coalescence to try and counter that back, and Poppy Lucky on the high ground is pouring in damage. Has to be careful though for Shadows, who does get the kill in the end, but for now it's Blue lighting up the kill feed. And
Yes.
again, Apollo will hold.
This is going to be really tough here to get past this choke for Prophets. They do get off the Junkrat, which does help a little bit, but the issue is that the Ash, Poppy Locky, just sitting high ground, completely uncontested, as well as the Junkrat now just spamming in damage. If the main tanks and the supports can keep Prophets in that area, they have a really good chance at winning this.
Yeah, oh, Shatter blocked, but it's just gonna be the fighting win going the way of Apollo. Wait, I may have spoke too soon though, as despite losing so many members early, it looks like they re-engage here, and Andrew Some getting 2 kills there with the Tracer through that flank rotation, finally able to put that pressure onto the opposing damage. And Clean Turd sort of stuck out here on the high ground, so low health, might be chased down here by Andrew Some, but
yeah,
he's gotta be
Some
careful
on
though.
That Tracer, immediate impact off that Junkrat, went high ground and took out the Ash and got rid of that just spam damage, as it helped that the tanks did do their job, get past the choke, make space, but getting rid of that Ash high ground was a massive thing for Andrew Some.
Speaking of making space, we see so much space made by the Prophets as they got that 1 pick. Now they have to deal with the fight here on the objective though, as Poppy Lucky dropping in the Bob gets a kill. That's a nice eat by Rome Treehouse there on to the pulse bomb of Andrew Some, who will get that one straight down the drain. Now it's going to be a probably drawn out fight here, but it looks like Prophets taking the smart decision and resetting to gain their reinforcements before this overtime battle.
Yeah, Prophets did invest a lot into that fight, and the only thing that they have coming up is that first pick, and also they have Earthshatter coming up that needs to be big if they want to cap that second point.
I think it's an essential tool if Prophets wants to get this one. Oh, and that's nice work from Chungus blocking. Oh no!
No!
It's a C9. No. Chungus did everything right there by blocking the Riptire and getting the Shatter onto 2 kills, but the rest of Prophets just not able to touch the objective due to so much pressure put out by Poppy Lucky and Clean Turd there on the damage. And we see the classic C9 there. I imagine chat is flooding right now with some C9 spam, and that's not good if you're Prophets. losing out a round like that when it's so essential in match point could cost them maybe the whole series here in the finals.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Apollo knows what they need to come out with, what they need to get. The bar is set for Apollo to win this match and much more to win this finals championship. They need to get 1 point and then win a few fights, win a fight or two after that first fight, and they can be MTT Tier 1 champs.
Totally. And I'm still stuck on that C9. That could be the deciding factor in our whole series tonight. That could be the turning point that gives Apollo the push to win the map. And that's absolutely huge for them as they're pulling out the attack with the Pharah and it's up against no hit scan. So this could be crazy.
And a pharmacy too. And the Junkrat, they have a lot of spam damage that they can put out and to be able to win this first fight pretty quickly.
And now, as this first engagement begins,
The
you do
Pharah
see
is
shadows
flanking
setting
all the way
up
around.
from the wall. And yeah, the Pharah going all the way around the back end. We'll see how that plays out as the engagement takes place down main. That's so much damage
Already
poured
forces
in
immortality.
by Poppy Locky, and getting a nice early kill is Clean Turd, taking the space that was made by that Pharah. And this just could be the end of point A right here, as
That's it.
the damage of Apollo has just opened everything up. Brook is not going to be able to put out enough support in a 2v6 situation to keep Imtree up. In the end, both of them will fall, and with a huge time bank, we're going to see a point A cap.
Yeah, that is Profits has a real task now. They're gonna have to hold this second point for more than 5 minutes, so they're gonna have to win 6 or 7 fights to try to come out and go to that map 7. So we'll see what they can come out here. They did swap to that Pharah to try to contest Poppy on that Pharah as well, and we'll see. They also did swap that double shield, which could be a major thing, trying to just cement yourself and try to not give up any ground.
If Clean Turd is able to build up this tire and get value out of it, it could be game over right here. But now they have to worry about the other tire, though, as Andrewsum getting a nice kill onto the opposing main tank. You're going to have another kill as well. That's 3 for Andrewsum, just pouring in the damage down main. Meanwhile, in the backline, you have Rome sort of separated, trying to take care of the Pharah. That's not going to work out, and the first fight win in what is going to have to be a huge series of holds here has begun for Profits.
Yeah, it's a good start. You know, that's a very good start. I don't think they invested any ults there. They did invest a tire, but they are almost halfway there already. And they do have that barrage coming up soon, so that would be very big.
I think it could be all done right here. It's 6 ults almost ready in the bank of Apollo. They've got a tire in the mix. That's a big pick, as now both coalescences come out, just trying to heal up MH, getting the res there, but in the end they're gonna pay for it with that self-destruct kill by Rome. And now trapped up is Chungus. It's gonna be blocked, and now all they have to do is get around this corner, and they have the picks to do so. They have the resources. They even have the barrage ready. Oh, there's just no one left to contest. They have to seal the deal right now to win the series, and it looks like that's exactly what Apollo's going to do. You're going to see the touch from Imtree pulling out the Wrecking Ball, and both barrages used.
Ooh,
that's a big
shatter.
shatter, though. That could be huge for Profits on the re-engage, and now Apollo firing back with that Resurrect, and Rome still running rampant on the D.Va. That's going to be it. The series is over. The finals are over, and in the CGL multi-tier tournament, season number 7, Apollo Tier 1 are going to be your champions over Profits Knights in the Tier 1 scene.
Yeah, that was an incredible match from the very beginning all the way to the end. You know, I don't know how many people had Apollo, you know, coming back. Like I said, after that first time they played, they got rolled. They lost 4-0, and they came back. They came ready to play, and they won it. You know, after all that hard work, they figured it out. They knew what they needed to run in order to win this match, and they did that. So congratulations to them, and also great job from Profits as well. They came out and they played, you know, the best they could. but they were just short one step.
Yep, this is going to be the end of our very first match in the CGL Xbox Finals week. You're going to see many, many, many more streams of the CGL Finals, not just in the Xbox NA scene, not just in Tier 1, but you're going to have it across PS4, across EU brackets. There's many more finals that definitely are going to be just as hype as this one, and there's not many matches that can top what we saw tonight with Apollo, the third seed, beating out Profits 4-2 at the end of this matchup. There's tons to analyze here. So I think we can start it off with our personal MVP picks. Mimjob, this is going to be probably the toughest decision for MVP that you've had in a while, but who do you think gets it?
It's really tough. I think everybody played extremely well. There was one person who really stuck out to me, and that was Brooke on the Baptiste. Although they didn't come out with the victory today, the immortalities that Brooke gave and had, had it on cooldown when needed, and saved that front line countless times through our 6 maps today. But I don't know if I'm comfortable giving the MVP to someone not on Apollo, and I am just not sure. What are you thinking?
I think I'm going to have to say it. Clean turd. I'm going to
Okay.
have to say it. It's just the amount of pure damage dished out by the Junkrat player there for Apollo was unparalleled. You saw Shadows trying to get it even with the Pharah. You saw Andrew Sum trying to get it even with the Ashe, and even moving on to the Junkrat at some times to try and duel out Clean Turd. But in the end, he was just uncontested throughout almost the entirety of the match. Profits had him figured out at some times, but we saw, I'd say, Riptire success rates for Clean Turd were through the roof. The percentages must be crazy for this match because he popped off in every way. And definitely shout out, like you said, to Brooke there on the support line. Good work from the whole Prophet squad. Chung is doing really well on the Reinhardt as well, to point that out. And the damage lineup, despite falling short in a few of these maps, they still put in a lot of work for Profits. On the other hand, you have Rome, Treehouse, and Pride there on the tank line of Apollo also popping off. And then there's the support line. I'm just going to say everyone. Everyone did well in this game. Literally everyone who came into the match.
That's how I'm
in the
looking
end,
at it for
yeah.
Apollo. I can't pick one person on the side of Apollo. They played so well as a team. As I was saying, if Profits had that Pharah and stuck with that Pharah, and there was no hit scan to take care of that Pharah, it wouldn't have ended the way it did. But they did on that DPS side. And then they also had very good Ryan play and support play. And it was just I think just an incredible team match to come out, play together, play the heroes that you need to win. And they did that, and they played it well. And I just think it was such a clean game from both sides. I wish we could do it again.
Yeah, a great match. To be honest, I kind of wanted it to go all the way. I kind of wanted it to go the distance there on the map 7, but with an unfortunate mistake there from Profits, leaving the objective in that overtime duel that they probably could have won off the back of a great Earth Shatter there from Chungus. They just weren't able to touch the objective, and that shaped up what was a very good offense for Apollo there on Eichenwald, securing the map win with relative ease during those few team fights that they had. And the strategies were great from both squads, pulling out many different things. We didn't really see much double shield or dive, but the amount of versatility in the support lines and in the damage was very cool to see. And just seeing the level of tank play, you don't need versatility. You don't need to swap when you can just dominate on the Reinhardt, dominate on the Zarya or D.Va. And that's what we saw in this match today. That'll conclude it tonight. A big thank you to everyone out there on the stream, in the chat, for showing up tonight to the very beginning of our finals week here in CGL. And there's a lot more to come here in the multi-tier tournament season 7. Make sure to catch those next matches. But also a big thanks for Bullskunk, the unsung hero of this whole thing, on the production. Just bringing you guys the stream that you see right now. We are just casting. He is the real man back there. And you have Billy as well, also hosting the lobby and doing all the communication with the captains for tonight. So behind the scenes, you got those two putting in the work as well. So shout out to them. Yeah, big thanks to all you followers, all you chatters here. That's going to close it for tonight. Mimjob, any words you want to say before we bring it out?
I just want to say a great game to both sides. They were really, really, really good. It's a shame for Profits to end the way they did, but Apollo deserved it, and we'll see if either of these two teams can make it up to T2 next season.
Oh, totally. I'm expecting a lot of these players to pop off in the later seasons, but for now, that's going to conclude our Tier 1 finals here again in the Console Overwatch Multi-Tier Tournament Season 7. Catch our later games in the finals week. We're just beginning here, and if this is a testament to what you guys are going to see on stream over the next few days, it's going to be a great week for everyone. But that's going to close it out tonight. Again, I am NSB, joined by Mimjob. This was the Tier 1 Finals. We will see you guys later.